Don Wright was my father. He was a Seattle journalist and writer, but above all, he was a historian of American presidents. It was his deepest passion. For half a century, he built one of the finest collections in the country of presidential campaign items. After he died, I first saw the unfinished manuscript he had never shared with anyone. I started reading it and couldn't put it down. His love of history simply burst off the page. His book was White House Rivals, the incredible story of all the men who ran against each other for president during the Progressive Era, from 1896 to 1932. Theodore Roosevelt, the most colorful figure of the era. Woodrow Wilson during World War I and the Treaty of Versailles. The losing candidates, the third-party radicals, all fighting for the America they hoped to see. Herbert Hoover and the Great Depression, and the coming of Roosevelt and the New Deal, which finally enacted so many of the progressive reforms.
I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people.
Reading his manuscript, I realized I simply couldn't leave it in my closet forever. So I began the long process of editing to bring White House Rivals to print. Along the way, I wove in some of the progressive movements that I felt should be included. The battle for women's suffrage, especially Alice Paul's dramatic confrontations at the White House, and the roles of black Americans seeking justice from both the Democratic and Republican parties in a deeply racist period of our history. This book is the result of my labor of love, a strange, unplanned collaboration between father and son that neither of us could have imagined. John Milton Cooper Jr., the greatest living historian of Woodrow Wilson, calls White House Rivals true presidential history. It is rich with insight and observation and written in a lively style. Do read this book.